Welcome back to my channel, Storytymetuber. Today I will be reading one of my favorite Disney's book, The Aristocats. Let's begin. After a carriage ride around Paris, Madame and her beloved cats were finally home. "Berlioz," said Duchess to one of her kittens, "haven't you forgotten something, darling?" "Thank you, Miss Frou-Frou, for letting me ride on your back," said Berlioz to the horse. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. It was Madame's good friend and attorney, Monsieur Georges Harcourt. "I've asked you to come here on a very important legal matter," announced Madame. "I want to make my will." All the while, Edgar, the butler, had been eavesdropping on Madame's conversation. "I am leaving my fortune to my cats," Madame told Georges. "I want them to inherit first. Then, at the end of their lifespan, my entire estate will revert to Edgar." Edgar was appalled. "Those cats have to go," he declared. Duchess watched over her kittens as they practiced their lessons. She wanted them to grow up to be sophisticated cats. Toulouse dipped his paw into some red paint and painted a face. "It's Edgar," giggled Marie. Berlioz started to play the piano as Marie accompanied him, singing her scales. In walked Edgar, carrying 4 dishes of cream into which he had secretly mixed sleeping pills. "Sleep well," he said, laying the dishes down for the cats. "I mean, eat well, of course." When the cats had finished their meal, they fell sound asleep. Later that evening, Edgar puts the sleeping cats one by one into a basket. Edgar snuck out of the mansion with the basket and loaded it into the sidecar of his motorcycle. He was bringing the cats to the countryside, where they surely wouldn't be able to find their way back home. Duchess and the kittens were awake by a loud clap of thunder. "Don't be frightened," she told them. The kittens snuggled in close to their mother. They weren't used to being left outside in the pouring rain. "Poor Madame," said Duchess. "She will be so worried when she finds us gone." The next morning, Duchess heard singing and went to explore. Thomas O'Malley was singing about being a carefree alley cat. When he saw Duchess watching him, he couldn't resist her beauty and introduced himself. Duchess told O'Malley that she needed to get back home to Paris and asked him if he could show her the way. Suddenly, Toulouse, Marie, and Berlioz climbed out of the basket to join their mother. O'Malley was surprised to see that Duchess had so many kittens. "Oh yes, Monsieur O'Malley, these are my children." O'Malley was an alley cat who wasn't interested in being tied down to a family. Since he felt bad for the cats, he decided to help them onto a truck headed towards the city. When a milk truck came down the road, O'Malley jumped onto its windshield to distract the driver. The truck screeched to a halt, and the cats quickly climbed into the back. As the milk truck began to drive away, Marie tumbled out of the truck and onto the road. O'Malley picked her up and returned her to the truck. At the last moment, O'Malley decided to climb aboard too. O'Malley lifted a cover off a big container of cream. The hungry kittens eagerly lapped up the delicious treat. All of a sudden, the truck driver spotted O'Malley in his rear view mirror and stopped the truck. The driver started chasing O'Malley and the cats. Fortunately, they got away, but were forced to continue on foot. It was getting dark, and the kittens were tired from walking all day. O'Malley brought the family to his penthouse pad to get a good night's rest. As they approached his place, music could be heard, and a light was coming from his window. "Oh no," said O'Malley. "Sounds like Scat Cat and his gang have dropped by." O'Malley and Duchess enjoyed dancing together to Scat Cat and the gang's swinging music. Toulouse, Marie, and Berlioz joined in on the fun, too. "Everybody, everybody, everybody wants to be a cat," they all sang. Duchess and O'Malley shared a romantic evening together on a rooftop overlooking Paris. O'Malley asked Duchess if she and the kittens would like to move in with him, but Duchess sadly refused. She could never leave her mistress. The next day, Duchess and the kittens returned home to the mansion. O'Malley was impressed by the classy neighborhood. "Hooray!" cried Berlioz. "We're home!" The kittens ran to the front door, but it was locked. They started meowing to be let in. Edgar was shocked to hear the familiar cries at the door. "It can't be them!" he exclaimed. After opening the door to let the cats in, Edgar immediately threw a sack over them. Fortunately, their little mouse friend, Roquefort, was nearby and had seen everything. Duchess asked Roquefort to run and get O'Malley. Roquefort caught up to O'Malley and told him that the cats were in trouble. O'Malley asked him to find Scat Cat and his gang of alley cats. The brave mouse told Scat Cat and the gang that Duchess and her kittens were in trouble and needed their help. Meanwhile, O'Malley saw Edgar run into the stables with a sack. "You pesky cats," said Edgar. "The baggage truck will be here any minute." Edgar put the sack into a trunk. He was going to ship the cats halfway across the world, so they would never find their way back. O'Malley followed Edgar into the stables. Frou-Frou the horse helped O'Malley fight Edgar, but Edgar was too strong for them. They needed more help. All of a sudden, Scat Cat and the gang showed up. As Edgar kept busy trying to fight off the feisty felines, Roquefort worked to unlock the trunk. O'Malley quickly ran over to open it, releasing Duchess and the kittens. Using her hind legs, Frou-Frou kicked Edgar through the air and right into the trunk. Suddenly, a rumbling delivery truck arrived at the stables. 2 men picked up the trunk and loaded it into the trunk. It was being sent all the way to Timbuktu. "Say cheese," said Madame as she snapped a photo. She thought O'Malley made a handsome addition to the family. O'Malley was proud to be a new husband and father to Duchess and her kittens. Madame instructed Georges to remove Edgar from the will. "What's that music?" asked Georges. "Sounds like a gang of swinging hip cats." And that was exactly what they were. Madame had started a new foundation, a home for all the alley cats of Paris. To celebrate, the cats and all their animal friends danced the night away. Hope you enjoyed this book. Until next time, let's read again. Bye!